Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Design You with Laura Lou. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to tell a little story and talk about the definitions. A lot about today is kind of telling the story of how I figured out I was an introvert. It's beautiful here in Denver. I'm just looking out the window. If you're watching me on YouTube, I am dressed, ready to go into my pool after this, but I wanted to record this because I love this topic of the definitions in human design. It kind of helps. It really blew my mind when I started learning about the definitions because it helped me understand myself as well as like understand that I'm an introvert. And when I talk about being an introvert doesn't mean you're antisocial. Being an introvert means that you need time alone to recharge your batteries in order to give people what they are looking for in you. So I, it's so funny because when you're in your 20s, you don't really realize it. Especially in my 20s, I was like a party girl. Like anytime I'd go out in public, I was drinking or like under the influence. So like I didn't really wasn't really aware of like how actually now that I think about it, there was moments in time where a lot of my friends would be like, why is Laura being weird in the corner? Because I don't like being around a big group of people. Like I love one-on-one interactions. I love intimacy. I like to get to know people on a deeper level. So when I'm in at parties or like at clubs or, you know, out, like in a big group, I have a hard time really getting to know people. And a lot of people have a hard time getting to know me. So this human design system really helped me kind of tap into like why I'm like that and why I am the way I am and why am I always the weirdo in the corner at a party or at a club or at a bar because I love to stand by something. It's a safety thing for me. Even in yoga, like I'll be in the back of the room. I will be, at the bar by a wall because it feels safe or about like at an exit by an exit. So if I need to get out, I could just get out. Doesn't make me a weirdo. It just makes me understand that my energy is really sensitive. So I can pick up on a lot of people's energy and I have a hard time navigating it when I'm around a lot of people. So as we go into this, I will discuss the definitions and what it all means, but I kind of wanted to tell you my story about how I figured it out. So, over the years, like I have a lot of friends, I do, but I like have like made all these friends throughout time by getting to know them one-on-one specifically. I'm not a person, I mean, I have a lot of friends, but I have a lot of I have a small group of friends that I'm super tight with that know me to a T. And then I am a people person. Like I like to be around people, but like I also like to be alone. So I've lived alone for over 10 years and I like my space. Like I love to be alone so I can learn. And I think that has a lot to do with my profile too. My 6'2" hermit role model. The hermit especially, I like to go inward. I like to like stay in my little niche area to learn some new skills and stuff. And I just like to put my headphones on and kind of like tap out when I'm at the places that have crowds. Um, so the more I got into my human design, the more a lot of this made sense to me. And the more that I've, detoxed and sobered up, I've learned a lot more about myself, about why I am the way I am, why I love yoga so much, right? Because it helps me go inward. Leo wants to say hi. Um, so as a projector, so if you are a projector, you're probably going to be relating to this. Projectors really have a hard time in big groups. We're public speakers, we're guides, but as Rob would say, no group sex, right? No nage a trois. We're very just like one-on-one intimacy. We like to help people, but like we don't like groups. So that right there is a huge aha moment for me of why I've been so weird at the bars or why I was so weird at parties because it's hard for me to get a word in when there's a million people, And it coming from an Italian family, when I go see my whole entire family, we can't stop talking. We're talking over one another and blah 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 and all this stuff. And I guess I was always the independent. I was the youngest out of all the kids. And I was always like an independent play person. Like I'd always just go by myself in my corner with my Barbies and like play with my Barbies. And like, but I would, I'm used to as like me for a long time. I probably will be into that mesh of like talking over one another. But when I don't know people and I'm in a group of people, like I get nervous and I just kind of turn off. So the projector energy right there had a lot to do with kind of understanding, oh, okay, that tracks now. I'm a great public speaker. I love to talk, but I like to talk when it's something that resonates with me. I don't just like to like talk about nothing and talk about bullshit. Um, so I am a split definition. And when I learned about my split definition, let's go over the definitions first. There's no definition. No definition means this is only what reflectors only have this no definition. And what that means, it's 1% of the population, and that means they have no defined centers. So when we talk about the definition, it describes our defined centers and its activated channels are connected and configured. So here are the possible definitions are no definition, single definition, split definition, triple definition, and quadruple split. So the no definition only reflectors have, that's 1% of the population. Excuse me, sorry about that bang. Then we have the single definition. And single definition is all defined centers and channels are connected, like one circuit. So 41% of the population are this. Now, for the single definition people, they pretty much know they have like this one personality. They know who they are really well. No definition kind of is more like, okay, I have a hard time knowing who it is, my personality. Like, so, and that makes sense for reflectors. Reflectors have a hard time knowing who they are as a person because, and they're always reflecting off of other people when they're around it. And then you have the split definition. Split definition, which I said I am a split definition, is also known as simple split. So it's two separate circuits of defined centers that are not connected. So that's 46% of the population. There are two subcategories for the split definition, and that's small and large. A small split is a split of just one missing gate. And then a large split is a full channel or more that would need to be defined in order to connect the circuit boards of defined centers. So when I think of split definition, I think of myself, I have two different personalities. Now, if you know me, you probably know the bubbly, nice, like really friendly person. Or you probably know me and you're like, this girl's intimidating. She seems really mean. And what I've learned about that, and I always never understood why I'm like that. I never understood because I am a very friendly person. I never understood why I was so standoffish to certain people. And when I talked to my friend in quantum human design, she was telling me that the split definition means that you're reading the energy of the person and you're not liking that energy. So then you retract. And I basically retract from that and I shut off. Like I just don't want to talk to them and I just stay to myself. So that's why I can read the energy of people so well that I just don't like it. And I just kind of go back to doing my thing and staying by the wall, staying in the corner of the room. So, but then, it's like if I like the energy that I'm seeing and I'm feeling it, then I'm like all myself. I'm my own authentic self. I'm very humble. I'm very personal. I want to talk to you. So that I thought was very interesting and it tracked why, oh yeah, I'm definitely an introvert. um, so then we have the triple split definition. These are three separate circuits that are not connected. And there's 11% of the population have this. And I've actually worked with some triple splits and they are interesting. I worked with one of my buddies. He is so out of alignment. Like, don't even get me started. I looked at his chart. He's a manifesting generator. He's a hot mess, but he loves to be around people. He like is very extroverted. And that makes sense because your triple split, you feed off of other people's energy and they have no connected circuits. So they're just, he just like, so he feeds off of people's energy and he kind of like connects with them. So he's like a chameleon. He can easily go in and out, but like that doesn't mean that that's right. This is just from my experience of seeing one. He's so all over the place. There's no, there's just no balance at all. When it comes to a quadruple split, I've never actually seen a quadruple split. It's four separate defined areas. That's 1% of the population in this track. So I have not yet encountered a quadruple split, and I can see that being a lot. I can definitely see that being like wildly crazy. So, what do our definitions affect? Our definitions refer to the connection and configuration of our defined centers and channels. It influences our interaction with others and the coherence of our connections to ourselves. When you possess split, triple split, or quadruple split definitions, your defined centers naturally seek connection with our defined centers, with other defined centers. Your aura may be drawn to individuals who possess the gates and channels you lack, bridging your splits and connecting all your defined centers. So that's interesting. So I attract the things that I don't have. Like I attract that sacral energy. I attract the G center energy and the emotion center. Like I attract that because I don't have that. So you don't have to worry about actively searching for people to bridge your splits. Most of those connections occur organically as you navigate through life, and your aura will guide you towards them. So my aura is attracting all of those people that probably don't have my centers, and I don't have their centers. So it's like the universe just provides you with these people due to your energy. So when you're a single definition, people with single definitions process information quickly. All of their defined centers are connected and talking to each other 24/7. Being emotionally defined can slow this process a little since they will need to wait through the emotional wave, but they will still process things quicker than most people. They are very self-contained, meaning that they aren't energetically seeking someone to bridge the disconnection in their chart. So that's pretty interesting. Um, and I feel that when I look at people with single definitions, they are not seeking. They're just very content with who they are. And it doesn't mean they have a fulfilling relationship, partnership, or collaboration. It just means that they may not have an intrinsic need to have people around to feel whole. So the split definition, which is myself, is people with split definition often do best process information energy with another person through a conversation or just by having the other person in their presence. As a split definition, I can confirm with the split definition, I can confirm that sometimes I need to talk something out or come together with someone to get something done. I love working with people, but I mostly work for myself. So I work by myself a lot, and I notice even living alone, I feel like I struggle because I don't have energy flowing. Like I don't have another person's energy to kind of gravitate towards. Um, I can also usually find someone to bridge the split by sitting in a coffee shop with them. So like I love meeting people one-on-one to kind of get their energy and work with that. The triple split definition is people with triple split have multiple places where their circuits need bridging. So it's good for them to be around more than one aura, which is like I said before, they need to be around a lot of people, like my friend. He needs to be around like a million people. He's a DJ, so he's always like in crowds and he's like likes that. A quadruple split is these people with this definition need a lot of time and freedom to process information since their defined centers are so separate from each other. They also have either 8 or 9 centers defined, which means that they aren't taking in a lot of energy from the outside world. Instead, they are waiting patiently for energy to filter. Now, coming to my conclusion of me being introvert, like why did I bring this up and why am I putting that in this episode? Because it really helped me kind of connect with being okay of being an introvert. And like I said, now being an introvert does not mean that I'm antisocial. I love going out, but I need to make sure that my energy is intact before I go out and share it with the world. And I like to go with more intimate settings, even at concerts and stuff. I like to go to a more intimate concert. So maybe like a smaller show, or like I like to go to a dinner, but I like to only go with like 3 people. I don't need like 15 people to go with. And it's funny because I have friends that like I have one friend and I love her to death, but she loves being around huge crowds. And I try to explain this to her and she just doesn't get it. And At this point, I just don't even say anything, and I just say she asked me to do something, and I'm just like, no. Because I can't explain it anymore, and I don't really need to explain it anymore. But if you're looking at your chart and you're looking at this and you want to know more about your definition, I do offer readings. Go on my website, you can book through there. And if you have any questions for me, you can also reach out anytime. I'm going to go jump in my pool now because it's beautiful. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Love and light.